There we go. We back. We active. Everything's on. Everything's green. Lights are flowing. We are going. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's do this. Different type of session. Switching it up a little bit. I'm doing my cardio first because I trained legs last night. Last night? Yeah. Trained legs last night. And oh man, are they sore. And I got to be like fresh and feeling good tomorrow morning. So, ugh. We ball though. We ball. Got to get it done. So I figured I'm gonna just do this first. Get this out the way. Then yeah. Ah, today we got changing your life. Yeah. And how it's not a changing in general. It's not. Let me rephrase that. Changing in your life. It's not instantaneous. Most of the time, it's a gradient. Um, so what I mean by that, um, we're gonna use the sky when it's when it's like midday. You look up at the sky and you can see the sky go from like orange, a sunrise. You see the sunrise, all the nice orange clouds, and then you look up just a bit more and it's completely dark. That is a gradient. That's a color gradient. It's going from one color to a different color with no definitive line showing where the switch happens. And that's what I mean by changes within your life are a gradient, because there's no definitive line anywhere where you, with certain things, look, if you decide to go cold turkey with drinking alcohol, there's a day. There is a day where you stopped. But more often than not, people do relapse and then they start drinking again, then they stop drinking, then they start drinking, then they stop drinking, then they start drinking. They drink for a while, then they stop for an even longer time. And then eventually, through that gradient period, it will go from drinking, not drinking, drinking, not drinking, to eventually a point where they never drink again. And that's what I mean by the gradient. There's no real day, unless you do just straight cold turkey it, just bang, done from this day onwards. But more often than not, yeah, it's a gradient. It's you stop, you start, you stop, you start, you go for a while, you stop for a while, you go for a while. It's this constant change from color to color, you know? And eventually you'll be at the other color. And I use this analogy with one of my friends who wanted to start eating healthy. I said, you're going to have to change your life, but you can't do it today. Like, it won't happen today. You can try today and try tomorrow, but it'll probably happen in a year's time, 4 months' time, Because it's, that's what it is. You try for something, you try. And then when you subconsciously do that thing without trying at all, that's when I feel like you're going further to the other color in the gradient. You know, it's like, yeah, you're further up toward that whatever color it may be, towards the sky rather than the sunset. And you can use that analogy with like relationships. There's no real definitive day where you stop loving that person. Say you just break up. There's not a day, there's not a moment where you stop loving them or caring about them or whatever. It just, all of a sudden, one day, after not thinking about it, after it fucking with you for so long, something happens and it's fine. It doesn't affect you that much anymore. And that means you've gone through the gradient. You've forgot about it. You've remembered. You've come back to it. You've messaged them. You've stopped talking to them. All of this is a part of the gradient to make it look just like, feel just like a smooth transition. And there's no real moment in time, an exact moment in time where you can say that's when it happened, you know? I feel like it's like that with a lot of things with life. Because life isn't as simple as, life isn't just black and white. It's not. There's so much shit to it. There's so much. It's never really just one thing or the other, you know? And shit, the sky depicts that perfectly. Like, perfectly. You can't. I've tried. I've sat and I've looked at the sunrise and the sky above, and there's no line. There is no exact line. It is the most smooth transition ever. It is so smooth. Like, it's unbelievable how smooth it is. And that's what it feels like with changing your life, with changing things in your life. It's just this, when you're at one color or at the other, it looks like a smooth transition, but when you're going through it, it's pretty jagged. It's pretty on and off. It changes. It's just, it's so hard to even explain because I don't even know how it happens. I don't even know why how the sky fucking does that shit. But if it's anything like the gradient of getting healthy, or switching from eating healthy foods to from unhealthy foods, it's, you buy a meal prep, you make the meal prep, you have it, it's good for a week, you do it again, then you add something else, and then you stop having that meal prep for a while. You stop eating healthy, you start eating the other shit. But you've made that mental note, it's still there. The start was there, you started. And then next time you come back to it, it's much easier. You know, you do it. And then you try another meal prep, you try another recipe, you try something else, you fail, you go back. And then all of a sudden, and it feels like that, your kitchen's stocked with whole foods and greens, you know? Like, it's just like, whoa, when the hell did this happen? Like with jobs as well, with work. You're unemployed, all of a sudden, you're working all the time. And it's like, whoa, when did this happen? Like, I was literally unemployed 3 weeks ago, and now, shit, this is life. And you can look at that in like the grand scheme of things. With when I was in school, and then my first job, and then like the parts in between those jobs, I was unemployed. It's like, when did I get into life? You know, when did I arrive to this age where I need to work to live? Because it's never really felt like that. But then when I think like it, when I think back, I'm like, damn, I've been doing this for a while. And like, I've been here, I've been doing it for ages. I didn't even know. I've been the other color, and I didn't even notice going through the gradient. Because you never do, I don't think. No, you don't. Because you don't, there's no definitive line. There is no exact moment where you switch from being a kid in school to being an adult working a full-time job. You know, because you were unemployed 2 months ago, but then you had a job for ages just after school. But then, like, but before that, you dropped out and you stopped going to school for a while. Like, it's just this constant mismatch of events that lead you to the other color, to whatever it is, going from there to there. There's no line that tells you when this happened. And I think that's life in general. It's just a big blur. Because I'm sure in 10, 15 years, I'm going to feel like I'm thinking back to now would be a gradient in whatever I'm working toward in the future, you know? That could just be life. Life could just be a constant blur of only the present feeling really being like, damn, I've arrived. But we're still moving. Oh, shit, look at that. Because, yeah, 100%. With everything I'm doing now, day to day, I don't even realize it, but this is going to be a part of that gradient. 100% it will be. Because I'll look back and be like, damn, when the hell did I get jacked? Like with your body. If when you're cutting weight, it doesn't feel like there's an exact day where you've gone from fat to being skinny or fat to being fit. It doesn't feel like a day. There's just moments throughout weeks where it's like, oh, I see something coming through. And then the next day, you're like, shit, nah, this ain't working. I'm fat. And then a week later, it's like, whoa, this is actually really working. And it's that slow process, that slow gradient, that transition from being fat to being fit. I guess you make the line every time you show up to the gym in that scenario. No, you just push further. You just push further into the other color. That's all it is. There's no exact line. You're just showing up to the gym in the analogy of the sunset in the sky. It'd be going to the gym. You're just incrementally going up, making that change. Just like with your eating habits, you know, you stop buying the chocolates and you start buying eggs, salads, and you know what to do with those foods to put them together to make a meal you enjoy. And you know a healthy sweet treat. And all of a sudden, doing all these things, your life changes. And now you're in a whole new life. Everything's healthy, everything's whatever you wanted it to be. Just that slow, grueling change. The gradient of life. And yeah, this is just me talking about it because I don't even really understand it. It's so confusing how you can be one thing one day, now you're here. Then that was so long ago. It's like shit. When did that happen, bro? When did that happen? But there's no definitive moment. It's just days, hours, minutes, all these things stacked on top of each other, slowly transitioning you to arrive at whatever destination it may be. That's really cool. It's actually really, really cool. And thinking about it, I'm still in a gradient as we speak because I'm going to arrive somewhere and I'm going to be like, whoa, when did this happen? Already with these like videos and stuff, it's becoming an unconscious habit. Like I just do it. Nah, definitely still some I've got to mentally be aware that I'm doing. And I'm not the most comfortable doing it. Yeah, see, I'm in the gradient right fucking now. As we speak, day by day, bit by bit, I'm just moving up the color change to eventually arrive wherever. So that's cool, man. And that's the case with everyone, I believe, honestly. Whatever you're doing now, it's just a part of the gradient, man. Just keep making those incremental changes for the better. I do say for the better because it's better you're doing better for yourself than doing bad. So if you're making changes for the worse, try to acknowledge that it's not going in the good direction, that the changes you're making are not good changes, and fix it. If not, don't worry. If you keep making the bad choice, the bad change, eventually, just like the gradient going good, the gradient will go bad. And all those days, instead of going to the gym, you were fit. And then all those days, not going to the gym, it'll stack up and slowly you'll change and you'll be fat and you'll be like, shit, when the hell did this happen? What the fuck? Or you'll weigh yourself and you'll be like, whoa, when the hell did I gain all this weight? And you won't even realize it. It'll just be a smooth transition. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, that's that, man. The gradient of life. The slow, grueling, unnoticeable change that happens every day, every second. All right. See you in the next one.